the reason I'm giving this demo is that obviously we did the light logic demo with the sphere, and now we're drawing something that's a little more complex. All of the same issues of reflected light, core shadow, cast shadow, and all of those same things apply. You have to deal with them in a different context because the shapes are a little different. And then on top of that, it's based on something that's very recognizable to you, in that the eye cast is something that everybody has a preconceived idea of what it's supposed to look like, right? And actually, some of you guys on the other side might come over so you can actually see the object that I'm drawing when I'm drawing it, so you can kind of understand the changes I'm making and how I'm interpreting the shape. So maybe come over and sit on, behind them. Because I don't want to imply that there is a special way to draw an eye cast that's any different than drawing the sphere or vegetable or anything else. So I'm going to start with, actually let me see. I'm going to start with an HB, and I'm basically going to go through approaching it in the same way I did the sphere in any other drawing. I'm going to start with a gesture and a loose underdrawing of the whole thing, but I'm going to include the shape, the bulk shape of the light and the shadow as I block in this drawing. I'm not going to think about it as the eye cast and then applying the shadow. I'm going to think about bulks of light and shadow kind of simultaneously. So, and I'm not going to assume anything right now about the subject I'm drawing. I'm going to just pay close attention to the shapes I see. See the shadow coming down, a strong diagonal of a shadow by the bottom eyelid, but the easiest way to deal with, I think, an eye or anything based on the figure is forget you're drawing something based on the figure. I mean, there are other issues that go in with figure drawing, bony landmarks and planar structure and forms, but right now I'm just thinking about the shapes in front of me. And I'm using loosely in this gesture, I'm kind of lining up some of the shapes with each other. In other words, I see a point of light just above that eye. I can look at that point of light and just go quickly reference, if I go straight down, what it seems to line up with. When I go to measure, I'll analyze that more closely. But even in the beginning, I'm thinking about alignments. And I don't want to get caught up on too many of the changes within the shadow shape yet, because I haven't got a clear idea of the shape of the shadow and its relationship to everything else yet. So I might make a few references, but certainly not going to get overly caught up with the tear duct yet, because it's very small in relation to what I'm trying to block in first. There's the side of it. I mean, there's certainly elements of perspective in this, because that's like a box that this cast has been cut out of. It's actually a cast based on Michelangelo's David, the eye of Michelangelo's David. A little more parallel. All right, so everything at this point is very, just like any other drawing, very lightly drawn. Nothing's too committed, but at the same time, I'm giving a lot of close observation to everything. And just like that test you guys just took, I could tell everybody when they were doing the part where you had to find the problems within the perspective drawing. I don't think I've ever seen you guys look harder than when you were doing that. I would advise, when you're drawing, every drawing you do from here on out, look at your subject with the same level of intensity. In other words, don't just be haphazardly putting it down, because when I looked all over it, everybody was trying to find the problems. Everybody was like analyzing every relationship they saw. Do the exact same thing from the get-go in all your drawings. All right. So I gave you guys that part of the test for a few reasons, to kind of emphasize how important it is to really visually think and see what's really there. So I think I've got enough of underdrawing down where I'm going to start to measure things. And the first thing I'm going to look for are like I said earlier, the bulk size relationships. So I can measure the angle of that shadow, just like with measuring a box. I can measure this corner in relation to that corner, here in relation to there, that angle. So everything is every big shape is important. And then from here to here. It's the diagonal. And then from there to there. Say the overall size of the cast is fine. The bulk shadows coming in. Then I see this shadow that kind of cuts down a diagonal, falls in the middle. And just like with drawing curved objects before, just with line, I'm kind of breaking up everything into straight line segments. So I can go from the corner to the point of that shadow to line that up correctly. That kind of abstracted shape comes down, and basically all of these shapes I'm seeing here are because there are major form changes. So remember what I was saying last time about light revealing the form. And as I get to the area around the sculpted eyebrow, remember an eyebrow doesn't necessarily have a million hairs on it. If I look really close at that the sculpture, the etching out of that eyebrow, there's basically two strong points of light, there and there. There's not a bunch of zigzags all across that eyebrow. So don't, that kind of goes back to what I was saying, is don't assume anything and really pay attention to what's there. Because then you might have a problem with, like, well, the eyebrow doesn't seem to look right. And that's because you've drawn what you assumed it should be rather than what it actually is. So there's that first shape of light, there's the second one, and then that shadow cuts over.